Voices from the grave. When Marissa Caldwell received the call about her distant relatives passing, she was surprised to learn that she had inherited a cemetery plot in the small, forgotten town of Briar Hollow. A self-proclaimed medium, Marissa had spent her life communicating with spirits, but she had never anticipated such a peculiar legacy. Upon arriving in Briar Hollow, Marissa felt an unsettling energy in the air. The cemetery, overgrown and neglected, was filled with crooked headstones and twisting vines, creating an atmosphere thick with secrets. As she walked among the graves, a chill crept down her spine, hinting at the stories yearning to be told. That evening, as she set up her temporary residence in a nearby inn, Marissa decided to visit the cemetery again. She felt compelled to connect with the spirits who rested there. Under the pale light of the moon, she lit a few candles and closed her eyes, focusing her energy on the plot she now owned. Suddenly, a cool breeze swept through the trees, and she felt a presence draw near. "Help us," a soft voice whispered, echoing around her. Marissa's heart raced. It was as if the ground itself was urging her to listen. Over the following days, Marissa began to hold sessions at the cemetery, allowing spirits to communicate through her. One by one, they revealed their stories: a young woman named Eliza, who had been wronged by her fiancé, a soldier, Thomas, who never returned home from war, and a child, Lily, who had succumbed to illness long before her time. Each spirit expressed a deep longing for closure, tethered to the earth by their untold stories. As Marissa unraveled the threads of their pasts, she began to sense a darker presence lurking in the shadows. During one session, a chilling gust of wind extinguished her candles, and a low growl reverberated through the air. "Leave," it warned, sending shivers down her spine. Marissa realized that not all spirits sought peace. Some were determined to keep their secrets hidden. Determined to help the spirits find closure, Marissa dove deeper into the history of Briar Hollow. Her research uncovered a forgotten crime, a series of tragic events that had led to the wrongful accusations and subsequent deaths of several residents, including the spirits she had encountered. The whispers in the cemetery painted a picture of betrayal and greed that had long festered beneath the town's surface. One stormy night, as lightning flashed and rain pounded the earth, Marissa returned to the cemetery for an urgent session. The air crackled with tension, and the spirits gathered around her, their faces etched with sorrow. "We were murdered," Eliza cried, her voice trembling. "We must expose the truth." As the spirits urged her to act, a powerful, malevolent force surged through the cemetery, pushing against Marissa's energy. The air grew thick, and shadows danced around her, forming a dark figure cloaked in rage. It was the spirit of a man named Jacob, whose greed had led to the tragic events that bound the others to the graves. "Stay away from my secret," he bellowed, his voice a low growl. The ground trembled beneath her feet, and Marissa felt the pull of fear. Gathering her courage, Marissa confronted Jacob's spirit. "You cannot hold them here anymore," she declared, her voice steady. "They deserve to be free, to tell their stories." With that, she reached deep within herself, channeling the energy of the other spirits. The candles flickered back to life, illuminating the dark figure. "Your time is over, Jacob. You cannot silence them any longer." In that moment, the cemetery erupted in chaos. Shadows collided, and a blinding light enveloped Marissa. Jacob's anguished screams filled the air as the spirits united, pushing back against the malevolence that had bound them. As the storm raged around them, Marissa felt the weight of the past begin to lift. The shadows gradually retreated, and Jacob's spirit was consumed by the light, leaving behind an echo of his fury. The cemetery fell silent, and the oppressive atmosphere dissipated. Breathless but resolute, Marissa opened her eyes to find the spirits surrounding her, their faces now peaceful. "Thank you," Eliza whispered, tears of gratitude glistening in her eyes. You have freed us. Marissa smiled, feeling a warmth envelop her. The spirits, no longer tied to their tragic ends, began to fade into the night, their stories finally acknowledged. As they departed, she felt a sense of purpose wash over her. In the days that followed, Marissa dedicated herself to honoring the memory of those lost to greed and betrayal. She worked with the townsfolk to create a memorial in Briar Hollow, sharing the stories of Eliza, Thomas, Lily, and the countless others who had suffered in silence. With each passing day, the cemetery transformed from a place of darkness into a sanctuary of remembrance. And though she no longer saw the spirits, Marissa knew their voices would echo in the hearts of those who now knew the truth. She had given them closure, and in turn, she had discovered her own purpose, a bridge between the living and the dead, a keeper of forgotten stories.